Let's listen to this.
December 18th, I remember because that's an important date to me. It's Joseph Stalin's birthday. I'm a fan.
You're a fan of Stalin's?
Mm-hmm. Always an admirer.
Nick Fuentes was one of the most censored people in the country, and he's bigger than ever right now. It's just undeniable.
Tucker was so good when he would have Democrats on, leftists, liberals that he disagreed with. He would ridicule and refute their ideas, and they stopped coming back because they were so embarrassed. I'd like to see Tucker do that with the right. Why isn't he doing that? The only reasonable conclusion that you can draw for not challenging Nick in more substantive ways is that he doesn't disagree with him. I want to know why Tucker is trying to mainstream Nick Fuentes.
There's no evidence that Tucker was trying to mainstream Nick Fuentes. What happened here is Nick Fuentes became mainstream. For all the people, by the way, who are so upset that Candace and Nick Fuentes have become so huge, you have no one but yourself to blame for that. It's all over the Israel issue, man. They were against this destruction of Gaza. I think you supporting Israel's destruction of Gaza is substantially worse than any of his views. I think that that is true. But I also think that it's probably easier than it's been in the past. And the reason we're in this moment now is partially the technological advances, just the fact that lots of people can have shows and we have social media and they can communicate in that way, but also that the establishment, the corporate media, and the government have been caught lying about every major crisis of the 21st century. And you just can't, there's only so many you can go through. And we can all in our minds are rattling them off right now. And if you go to WMDs or you go to, COVID, I mean, my God, they locked the entire country down. Joe Biden wasn't senile. And so, the thing that's interesting is that there are actually tons of conspiracy theories that just don't get called that. What was Russiagate? Pierce? Was that not a conspiracy theory? What was the idea that Iraq, Iran, and North Korea were all involved in 9/11? The only thing those three countries had in common was that they had absolutely nothing to do with Al-Qaeda. And so, there have been so many conspiracy theories that have been pushed from the top that now I think we are in a place where people just don't believe anything. And so on all sides, they're more quick to jump onto conspiracies.
But that's the point, isn't it, Seth Dillon, is that people are finding it increasingly hard to know what to believe. I don't disagree with Dave's assessment that social media in particular and look, people like us who do our own thing now, that you can hold everything to proper account, you can debate this freely, you can reveal where corporate and government and media, mainstream media narratives have been clearly demonstrably wrong. That is all true. But it does feel like, particularly with AI, with deep fakes and all this kind of thing, that in sophisticated hands, the ability to completely con people now in a very convincing...
Yesterday, Seth Dillon and Dave Smith had an interview with Piers Morgan. And one thing that you can note from this is that Seth seems to always keep attacking Dave Smith. Well, Dave Smith is asking very sober questions. And it's funny that these people, the pro-Israel, seem to have lack of basic common sense. You attack Candace Owens, but you're not giving us enough information. You attack Tucker Carlson, but you're not giving us counterfacts. No, you are not happy that Tucker Carlson did invite Nick Fuentes. My question is, does it mean that because you hate Nick Fuentes that we don't give a room to hear what he says? I don't like him personally, especially about what he says about people of my skin color. But the question is, why are you not happy when Tucker and Candace Owens have big platforms? The fact is, it's not because of what they say about people of color. No, it's because of what they say about a foreign government. And said, you can complain about Nick Fuentes, but you guys have been supporting genocide.
It's over. My side has won the debate. The support for Israel has evaporated, and they know that. And so in a way, I think they know that this is their moment. They've got the most pro-Israel administration in the history of the United States of America, and they know that in the future they will not have this level of support. So if they were going to make a move to ethnically cleanse the rest of the Palestinians out of Gaza, if they were going to make a move to officially annex the West Bank, which has already, essentially been annexed, this might be the time that they feel like they got to go for it. And so that's a big question. I'm not saying I know that that's the case. I hope it's not, but I am very concerned about that.
Seth, what's your response to that?
Well, I have my doubts about whether or not a ceasefire can hold in this situation because, both sides have their own interests to protect. I think that, I don't know if you did, Dave. I would ask you because I'm not sure if you did or not. But were you objecting to Hamas, dragging people through the streets and executing them after the ceasefire was announced and Israel started to withdraw? And we're talking about concern for civilians and people that are being slaughtered in the streets. Like, did you express any outrage about that when that was happening?
Yeah, I did, but I just
I'm
find
asking
it.
Honestly.
Yeah, right. So just to answer your question, yes, I did, and I find it just hilarious that you guys who have been supporting the destruction of Gaza somehow don't see your own hypocrisy when you turn around and go, "Oh my God, people are dying."
I've never supported the destruction of Gaza.
I don't.
I've never once supported the destruction of Gaza. I wish that none of it had ever happened.
Okay, well, Gaza's been destroyed, and you've been supporting Israel's right to defend itself the entire time. So what does that add up to?
Yeah, that's not supporting the destruction of Gaza.
I condemn Hamas. I condemn killing people. People should have a right to a fair trial. I treat people with the presumption of innocence. So even if Hamas says that those were collaborators, sorry, they deserve some type of fair trial or something, just like those 1,700 people that your buddy called terrorists. I treat them with the presumption of innocence too.
Okay. Well, you also like Nick Fuentes and don't have anything to say about his bad ideas. So it's just weird to get like a moral superiority coming.
I got a lot to say about his bad ideas. What are you talking about, man? Look, I believe what I believe. Obviously, if anyone's ever listened to me, do I say the same stuff he does? No, we have different views.
Well, why do you like him? Why do you like him? Why do you defend Nick Fuentes? Why do you like him if you hate his ideas so much?
I don't know. I mean, I hate a lot of Pierce's ideas, and I like him. Piers was for gun control. He's a dirty Brit coming over to my country trying to round up the guns. I'd still love to grab a beer with him.
Yeah, but he's never called for the execution of atheists, heretics, and perfidious Jews. He doesn't say that they should, burn in ovens and glorify Hitler. I mean, he hasn't gone that far, has he? I don't think Piers has said anything like that. I don't know why you'd want to be friends with somebody who has those kinds of views.
I have not gone that far, no.
Not that far, not yet. Well, look, I mean,
no, I have one more question for you.
I want to know what Dave thinks about Tucker essentially calling Charlie Kirk a heretic by saying that anybody who's a Christian Zionist is a heretic. I mean, that was Charlie Kirk, was it not?
Okay, but I mean, I think obviously he's speaking about evangelical Christians in general and saying that this violates the Bible, like to make it about Charlie Kirk.
And that's a circle that Charlie Kirk fits inside. It applies to him.
Okay, but so he's criticizing a view that Charlie Kirk had. Yeah, I disagreed with Charlie on that too. So what's your point?
He said he hates those people more than he said he hates those people more than anybody else and called them heretics. And yet he spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial so glowingly. How do you reconcile those two things?
Yeah, he obviously didn't hate Charlie Kirk. There you go. Come on. This is ridiculous. Yes, he's making a point that he thinks that actually the Christians who put Israel above their own government and believe that only Jesus can come back if the Jews control the area, that is goofy, and I agree.
Yeah, well, if you say you hate people that have Charlie's views, then you're saying you hate Charlie.
Yeah, okay.
I don't.
Good. If that's the argument you want to go with, okay. I don't know what that means, but hey, listen.
All right,
man,
but listen, we're going to have to leave it there. I would say in relation to my bad idea about gun control, I was right. It just turned out Americans didn't want to hear this advice from an English accent. I think we can probably agree on that. So
I don't agree with you being right, but
but so condescending.
But guys, I've really enjoyed this. It's been a very different kind of debate. Come back and do it again, and we'll do it longer next time. I think it's important. I actually think sometimes talking about all the stuff that's going on in our world is interesting. As millions and millions of people are consuming all this content now, far more than in the mainstream media. It's where all the action and debate is happening. And debating the debate sometimes is actually in itself a really interesting exercise. I don't have all the answers. I don't think any of us do. But just talking to you guys about it has given me some interesting insight into how I should think about things. So thank you both.
You guys made so hard for Charlie when he was alive. but now you act like you're ageless. And this is the problem we have with some people who think they can invent truth, they invent facts, and they are always right. You cannot have monopoly of right. At least you have to understand this. And the moment that you think you are always right, that's become a problem. That's a problem we are having here. And even Piers Morgan even challenged Seth and asked him, I have given a platform to people who people can call murderers. And why do you think it's wrong for me to give the same platform to someone like Nick Fuentes who have not done anything? Sometimes you challenge these people who have negative thinking by giving them interview and challenging with the facts, not banning them. Because if you ban everyone who we disagree with, that is not free speech. No. And you don't expect everyone to agree with you. The moment you think and assume that everyone will agree with you, you must have a problem, my friend. And this is a problem we are having with this pro-Israel who want to attack Carlson, want to attack Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and everyone who disagrees with them. And even now, they even label Dave Smith as a self-hating Jew. Like, you cannot be a Jew who doesn't believe in Zionism. We have seen Jews who doesn't believe in Zionism. And they are Jews. And the moment you keep showing us that Jews who oppose Zionism are not Jews, we even question, are you? And this is a problem we're having with these people. And they had a very hard time. And I can tell that the audience and most of people felt that Dave Smith won this debate definitely and made a lot of sense. And even somehow Piers Morgan agreed with him. Do you agree with this? Let me know in the comment section. I'm your host James. Remember to share and subscribe. Let's meet in the next video.